सो आपलं कोर्सचं जे कंटेंट आहे बेसिकसाठी विच इज नॉलेज अँड कन्सेप्ट्स, त्याच्यामध्ये आपण स्टॉक मार्केटचे बेसिक्स म्हणजे अज्युमिंग की समोरच्याला काहीही माहिती नाहीये असं समजून आपण ते शिकवायला सुरुवात करतो. देन मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंटली वी स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट द डाव थेअरी अँड मार्केट ट्रेंड्स, कारण तुम्हाला डाव थेअरीच्या बेसिसवर मार्केट ट्रेंड तुम्ही ओळखू शकता. ठीक आहे. देन वी टॉक अबाउट द डिमांड अँड सप्लाय झोन्स, देन कॅन्डल्स अँड कॅन्डलस्टिक पॅटर्न ज्याच्याबद्दल तुम्ही बोलताय ते. ठीक आहे. नाउ कॅन्डल अँड कॅन्डलस्टिक पॅटर्न इज जस्ट द स्टार्टिंग स्टेप इन दिस कोर्स. कारण किती डिटेलमध्ये जायचं आणि कोणत्या कॅन्डलस्टिक पॅटर्न कडे कोणत्या दृष्टीने बघायचं ते आपण कोर्समध्ये बऱ्यापैकी डिटेलमध्ये बघतो. कारण फक्त कॅन्डलस्टिक बघून उपयोग नसतो, त्या कुठे त्याचा इंटरप्रिटेशन काय असतं हे समजणं महत्वाचं आहे ना. सो दॅट इज कॅन्डल्स अँड कॅन्डलस्टिक पॅटर्न्स. सपोर्ट रेजिस्टन्सेस, तुम्हाला जर उद्या फ्युचर्स अँड ऑप्शन्स करायचं झालं तर ते समजून घेण्यासाठी आणि त्याच्यामध्ये ट्रेड करण्यासाठी, सो डिमांड सप्लाय झोन्स, सो डिमांड इज नथिंग बट युअर सपोर्ट आणि सप्लाय झोन म्हणजे तुमचा रेजिस्टन्स येतो. सो इफ यू आर एबल टू रिअली अंडरस्टँड दिस व्हेरी व्हेरी केअरफुली, then only you should go towards the trading of futures and options, that is FnO. Okay. So that is very very important to know the things. Then this year and I think last year you have seen that most of the times the market opened with gap up and gap down. Right, almost every alternate day or almost every day market opened gap up or gap down. So how are you going to deal with this? असं होऊ शकतं की तुम्ही जेव्हा ट्रेड घ्याल तेव्हा ऑलरेडी जर गॅप अप जर झाला असेल तुम्ही कोणता ट्रेड घ्याल? यू कांट से एनिथिंग, राईट? we can't take any decision in that case. So how do we consider those gaps? So there are around 3 to 4 types of gaps that we teach during the course, and how to tackle all those gap types, that is very very important to understand. Okay, so that's all about gaps. Then trend lines and channels. We always know that there are trends, so how do we check whether there are trends or not? So we look at the trends by using trends and trend lines. Okay, and then channels. Now based on these trend lines and channels we have the setup as well. It's not mentioned here as a part of application or as such, but we do talk about that in the course, because we never wanted to glamorize this course content by mentioning those small things, because we cover a lot in that course, right? Then moving average, I think you may be aware of this moving average already, right? By now, if you are already trading. Then we also talk about the relative strength index, which is very 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 close to the price action or the prices overall. Then pricing and chart patterns. Every price pattern, if we are able to find, will have its own target to deal with. Okay, and also a tentative duration is actually visible on the chart, right? So what do I mean by that is, if you find any specific pattern on the chart, then you know what could be the possible target, and for every pattern that we are talking about will have its typical duration within which the target is met. However, because of the fluctuation in the market, it might just happen that the target may get delayed. So how to deal with that? Okay. And then Fibonacci retracement, that gives you a right entry point when you look at the longer term. For example, if you are investing in stocks for a longer horizon, then what should be the right time to entry or re-enter the stock? So that can be calculated based on the Fibonacci retracement tool. So that we talk about in the course as well. Then we have around 3 setups. One is support resistances based, where we also talk about the trend lines, channels, okay, and horizontal support and resistances. Horizontal is those horizontal lines, right?
Yes. Yes.
So we talk about that setup. Then moving average base trade setup, which works excellently well because we have modified those setups. We don't talk about those mostly popular 20, 50, then other people use from 20 moving average likewise. So we have our own setup that we talk about. Then RSI based trade setup, which is very, very important to know because there are quite a few misconception in terms of RSI.
Okay.
So what is overbought, oversold level on the indicator? Sorry, that oscillator, right? So we
Mhm.
need to understand that because every stock may have its own different overbought and oversold levels. Okay, so we need to understand that as well. Then chart analysis, we go through chart analysis very much in detail. Okay.
Okay.
Because very, very important is whether you, sorry, what happened? Okay, so you talk about all this theory part, right? But how do you
Yes.
implement that? Because that is what is going to be
Mhm.
the key for your successful investment career, right?
Mhm.
So you
Yes.
need to be very, very clear about this. So we study at least 80 to 90 charts in entire session. Okay.
Okay.
Then you
Mhm.
also get enough assignments to study,
Okay.
provided you are serious about study those assignments. Okay.
Okay.
Then most importantly, we talk about the multi-time frame analysis. Are you there on our group at the moment? Arshadek
Yes, I am
investment.
on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So you must have seen that mostly people are just talking about daily time frame and then they go to the lower time frame and then they go and take an entry. So
Yes.
daily
Mhm.
time frame should not be the only criteria to look at because there are 3 time frames we deal with: monthly, weekly, and daily. And then you can take an entry based on either 15 minutes or 1 hour,
Okay.
right? The reason is you need to understand the influence or the impact of higher time frames on your trading career.
Okay.
You may think that just by looking at the daily time frame that it's working well, it's fine, and then you take an entry, but suddenly in a day or two the trend reverses. So why this happens? Because the higher time frame always rules,
Hmm.
right? So that we need to understand. That is very, very important. Then uh, as a part of gesture, we are giving 3 scanners. In none of the other market institutions or training institutes, you will not get anywhere, right? So one is a
Okay.
Dow theory scanner or price action scanner, we call it as, using which you can actually find out the tradable ideas every day. Not every day, based on the day's price action, obviously, because we have put some
Yes.
rules, and based on those rules, the stocks will get filtered. If you get
Okay.
the stocks filtered on that day, so all you need to do is whatever we have learned here, you need to apply on those scanners, scan results. Okay.
Okay.
And then
Mhm.
you need to study those stocks and find out the best possible stocks with risk and reward at least 1 is to 2. At least 1 is to 2, I'm saying.
Yes.
We prefer 1 is to 2.5 and higher. So if you are putting 1 rupee of your in from your pocket, then you should expect at least 2.5 rupees to 3 rupees as a return.
Okay.
That's a risk to reward we talk about. How to take an entry, how to maneuver your stop loss, how to remain in the trade till the last end. Okay. So these are the some of the concepts we talk about in our chart analysis practice sessions.
Okay.
Then RSI scanner, like whenever there is a trigger which takes place on any stock. So how do you handle that stock and how to take an entry? So that is RSI based scanners. So you can see very well, and there are two types of scanners which we provide. One is short term and another is positional. Right. And then
Yes.
the one of the most popular, we called it as most popular, is this multi-bagger stock scanner. We teach the people during the class as to how to build that scanner. Again, this is the thing which you will not understand if anybody will tell you just as to what that scanner is. You need to put your own brain to decipher or understand that stock scanner. But we teach
Okay.
them during the course itself as to how to write that scanner so that you can take the benefit for writing your own scan later on if you want. Right. So these are our
Yes.
gesture as a part of your trust in us. So that's all about the basic concepts, knowledge, and the application part. Now, the next part, which we consider as 80% of the investing and trading, because anybody and everybody can understand all these things. All these things are available on YouTube, not a problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm
Yeah.
not going to teach anything which is a
Mm-hmm.
rocket science as such. But why the course is necessary is you need to understand the flow. Then there are some intricacies that you need to really understand because they will not be available on YouTube or Facebook or those shorts which you look at the Facebook. Those small setups that people will tell you, they are absolute because nobody will share their holy grail free of cost, right?
Mm. Yes.
But the setups which we have shared on our channel are still working. They are not absolute because we have modified those setups.
Okay.
Okay, so they are still working well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't use any third party indicators. We use whatever is available free of cost and free platforms itself. We don't recommend any specific broker. We don't give you the links with our what you say referral links and ask you to go for any specific broker. You don't need to
Okay.
open any demat account under us at all. We don't need that.
Okay.
All we
Okay.
need is people who have clear mind to learn with us. They can join us. We will ensure that at the mid of the course, they will be able to take the decision on their indi- personal stock portfolio. That is midway only. And at the end of the sessions or the course, you will be able
Mm-hmm.
to find out the right stocks for your next set of investments in the longer run.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually help build portfolio for your own self, right? So that
Yes.
is done as a part of your knowledge concept and application. But the third part you see is a important concept which typically don't people don't understand. Not too many people are
Mm-hmm.
aware of this, which is money management, mind management, risk management, and position sizing.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Okay.
now money management is what? First, try to understand what is your risk. Based on that risk, you deploy the money. We talk about lot many details. We cover lot many aspects of it while we plan for the trade. Okay, so that's your money management. Then mind management, how to deal with the ups and downs in the market, because there are tools and the techniques which you can actually use when there is a volatility. Risk management, you need to understand your own risk. While you deploy your money, you need to understand how much you tend to lose if the trade goes against your initial calculations, right? That is very, very important.
Yes.
And last but not the least is position sizing. Now, why the position sizing is important? Because it often happens, or most of the times happens, that people do calculate very well, does their own studies, and find out stocks.
Mm.
Let us say there are 10 stocks you want to invest, and there are stocks where you tend to see around 20% returns, there will be 30% return, 50% returns, right? But
Yes.
but what happens is people psychology and the mentality will go towards the one which is giving you 50% returns and try to deploy maximum amount there, right? So
Yes.
in that case, what happen if the stock turns in the reverse direction? Then what happens to your money? Because you have deployed the higher money considering that you will get higher profits, right? So that's where most of the people trading or investing fails. We don't
Okay.
encourage any such investment model. We want our students to be disciplined enough. We educate them because we cannot control their habits, but we educate them and ensure that all the necessary inputs are given in such a way that they can mold their own minds.
Yes.
Yeah. Last but not the least, we don't encourage you to invest in FnO as a part of this course, because this is purely focused only on investment,
Okay.
right? So that is first part. Secondly, we don't encourage any penny stocks to be invested. You can look at the cash market perfectly fine, but penny stocks, any stock which is less than 50 rupees, we consider them as penny stocks. Howsoever
Yes.
big the company is, but we don't encourage, because all those stocks are, even though there is a liquidity, but with a small
Mm.
money, the people or operator can move their stocks. So 2 or 3 days, it will give you 10% circuits, and the next day it will give 10% negative circuit. So what happens is whatever you
Yes.
have gained, you are locked in those circuits, and your money is trapped. And the next few days, 5% circuits you get, and then you get into the losses from the profits. So we don't want our students to fall prey to such investment habits, which is important in today's days.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope
Okay.
you are agreeing to this, right?
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. So we cover all this in approximately a month-long course. So we cover 4 weekends, that is 8 sessions. So
Okay.
8 sessions and 4 sessions each. Sorry, 4 hour session each. So roughly three and a half
Okay.
hours to 4 hour session per day on weekends.
Okay.
So weekend timing can be either 8 to 12 or 2 to 6.
Fine.
Yeah, so that's how we plan. Uh, Investment is 15,000. I will not call this as a fees as such, but I will call it as investment, because a single good investment can really recover all this money that you have put in yourself as a part of learning phase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then
Okay.
every single video will be recorded, and that will be uploaded on the YouTube, and that will be accessible via a private mechanism, that is via your Gmail ID. only. It is not open to public.
Okay.
Access is lifetime. Then we have our community group, which means as soon as you complete the course, you will get added to that community group. That access is also lifetime. So you don't have to worry about the support mechanism. Unlike other people, uh, they just keep that group open for a month or so, and as soon as the course is completed, they delete that group, and then you are on your own. So
Okay.
all those videos are lifetime available. You are uh, in that community WhatsApp group lifetime. Then recently we have started our Facebook closed group where people can join and understand as to what the other things we are providing as a part of various scans, then various trade ideas. Okay, we don't provide tips. We help you generate
Mhm.
your own tradable ideas, but not tips.
Okay.
Fine. Then we do go through the couple of live sessions during the market hours. We talk about how to deal with equities. We also talk about the currencies. The same setups which we have taught there, they work equally well for the futures and options as well. But we don't encourage directly as a part of this course because we have a separate course where we deal purely on in futures and options. Fine.
Okay. Yes.
And yes, so I think that is all I wanted to cover as a part of basic course content. And any questions you have?
No, I'm good. Yes, I think I need to do basic course first, then
Mhm.
only I can go to the advanced course.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's all I think. So the next one, I will still give you a very basic information about the advanced course as well. So this advanced course is purely focused only on futures and options. There were some
Okay.
advanced concepts in advanced course. We merged that into the basic course.
Okay.
Then what we do is
Fine.
typically as a part of again knowledge and concepts, we do revise those basic concepts. So what typically we do is those who join us as a part of our advanced batch, we invite them for
Mm-hmm.
initial couple of sessions just to brush up their understanding. But that may not be
Okay.
sufficient for the long term kind of a study. Stock market, uh, futures and options, then investment versus trading. Okay. Then hedging the risks via FnO. So in this case, you build your portfolio. Okay. And if the
Mm-hmm.
market goes down, then obviously you will need to have some mechanism which will help you hedge your portfolio. Suppose you have 10 lakh worth portfolio, and if the market goes 10% down, so obviously you will see
Uh-huh.
tentatively 1 lakh rupees minus in your portfolio, right? In your investment portfolio.
Yes.
Tentatively,
Yes.
I'm saying it depends upon what stocks you have chosen. If you have chosen the risky stocks, it might happen that with 10% of the market dip, you may see 20% of your portfolio down. Anything can happen, right? It depends upon the level at which you have bought. But as per this course, which is basic course, if you have bought the stocks at right point in time, then you will see less fall during the market downtime, right? So the entry is
Yes.
essential. So investment versus trading, then hedging the risks. So how about finding some instrument and taking a trade when market is falling? So what are those various instruments that we teach about in our course? Then when I said that I asked you one question, right? Do you understand the support of distances, trend line channels likewise? So they are
Yeah.
essential because they tell you about the trend.
Okay.
Because options and futures, you need to understand the trend very well. 70% of the market in its life is sideways, and only 30% will be trending. You can check any stocks, any index in last 10 years. You will realize that the stock market is 70% sideways and only in 30% trending. So how to make money in either of the markets? So one
Yeah.
is your sideways trend. So how do you deal with the sideways trend? So there are strategies which can be employed so that even if the market is sideways, it remains at that level, still you will end up making money, and good money, in fact, right? So that's
Yes.
about uh, why knowing the trend is important. Then option buying versus option selling. You know that option people, most of the people do option buying, right?
Yes.
And there are many Telegram channels, WhatsApp channels where people will tell you buy this option, buy this option, buy that stock option, right? But they are not
Yes.
giving
Correct.
you the free tip, because ultimately there is someone who needs to sell, and that's why you are supposed to, you are given the tip to buy,
Mm,
right? You are getting what I'm trying to say here, because if someone wants to
correct. Yes.
hire money, then they will sell the
Mm,
options. And people like us who
yes.
are not having inside information or right information based on the right studies, then you will fall prey to those people and you will end up losing money, most of the money from that options. So what is the criteria to buy options? What should be the criteria to sell options is what we talk about that. Then we talk about popular trading strategies, around I think 7 or 8 strategies we talk about throughout the course. Then
Yes.
trending versus range bound market we have just seen. Then we have some indicator based trade strategies. If there are any special circumstances or there are any setups that gets generated, so that you can then enter the buying of the option, then you can use those trading setups. So that's all about knowledge and concepts. Then application, option buying trade setup, option selling trade setups, applications of the indicators. We talk about indicators as well, right?
Yeah.
Then option chain analysis, which is very, very important for any option trader to understand, because that is kind of a ongoing or liquid kind of a indicator. We call this as kind of an indicator, option chain, because it indicates as to what is happening to the market on ongoing basis, because this is
Okay.
continuously changing. Every single second, every single minute, it is changing. Yeah. So we need to be able to
Yes.
understand as to what does that mean to us, and if you are already in a trade, what you should be doing from there. So how to interpret that option chain, how to find the support resistances based on the option chain, and identifying the big people's bets from the option chain will be the key. And then again, multi-time frame analysis. So if you want to take a trade in options or futures, you should be very, very clear about what is happening on all the time frames to deal with the options. If you are taking the right trade, then it might just happen that at in a all I can say is a small investment of 40 to 60,000 rupees, which
Mm,
is a hedged position, can give you around 3 to 4,000 rupees in a day or two. So which is roughly 2%, right? Approximately 2%
yes.
you will get in a day or two. And most of the businesses or businessmen do business at 2% per month. I'm talking about per week. So you can imagine,
Correct.
if you take right trades by studying well, then you can actually tend to get around 5%, 2 to 5%. I'm saying I will be very, very conservative. but optimistic.
Mm,
The reason is, considering the study is done well, you can take around 5 to 5% per month, which is roughly around 50% per year. So you can actually grow 50% year on year if you take right decisions after doing right studies. Okay. Now,
okay.
again, in this case as well, we give two scanners. One is our breakout scanner, which can also be used directly in the cash as well as futures and options. And the second one is, as I said, 70% of the time, the stock or the market remains sideways. So how to make money in sideways market? So we give two scans. One is short term and another is positional option writing scan. So how to find the stocks or writing the options? Option writing is option
Okay.
selling. So sell high,
Yes.
buy low. So that's how you make
Mhm.
money. So that was all about the course basic content. And again, what we spoke about in basic course, the same applies equally well in trading in FnO. It is even more important than what we do in cash. The reason is the risk is higher, because when we talk about futures or options, there is a lot size, right? But
Yes.
in cash, you have one stock you can invest or trade minimum. But here, it's a lot size. So they don't give you your mode of operandi. All you need to do is follow their model. If the exchange is set 1,000 shares per lot, then obviously every single trade you will have to deal with will be based on the 1,000 share lot. Right? So 1 rupee plus will give you 1 rupee, 1,000 rupees, but 1 rupee down will take 1,000 rupees out of from your pocket. So that's bare
Yes.
minimum risk you need to deal with. Again, choosing the right stocks, very, very important, right? And again, mindset here, risk management, position sizing will be very, very important. We will talk about some of those strategies which you can actually use and deploy by reducing the capital, which is done by hedging. So how you can do hedging? We talk about that hedging mechanism as well. We also teach as to how not to make mistakes, because
Yes.
people, if someone has around 3 lakh or 5 lakh rupees worth capital, so what they typically do is they deploy entirely 3 to 4 lakh rupees and keep just 50, 60,000 in their pocket. But if there are
Mm,
wild swings in the market, then obviously you need to have higher mark to market to fulfill the obligations raised by the other broker or exchange. So that we need to be very, very careful. So how do we manage that particular uh, capital when we are going to trade? We also give lot
okay.
of importance to currency trading. The reason is, currency trading has a very high ROI. In currency futures, you have margin requirement of around just 2,500 to 3,200 rupees for investing in or trading for in one lot. But if the currency moves 20 to 30 paisa per day, let us say, so you tend to get approximately 10% of your returns. So 10% returns on your investment, isn't it? So if that is the case,
Yes.
then obviously you need to be very, very clear about your own psychology as to which kind of instrument you are going to trade. You also need to find out what is your working pattern, and based on that, find the right instrument. The instruments are your currency, Then commodity, that is copper, zinc, okay, aluminum. Then you also have crude, which you can trade. You have gold, silver, and obviously equity instruments like cash, then options, then futures. So all these are instruments which can be traded based on the same strategies which we talk about. So it's all about
Okay.
this portion which you need to pay focus on if you are going to learn in futures and options. If you consider this, then your capital is protected. If you ignore this, then your capital can really drop drastically. So to
Yes.
avoid this we call it as 80% because anybody can teach, anybody can learn this by putting right efforts. But understanding this is very, very important, right? So that's
Yes.
all about the advanced course. We call it as FnO course. And any questions you have?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So if you have any interest or any questions, you can reach out to us. And if you
Sure.
are
I
keen
will.
to
I will ping
keen
you
to
if
join,
there is
yeah,
any
if you are
question.
keen to join, then let me know. Yeah,
Sure. Sure. Yes.
fine then. So there
Okay.
are there any additional questions? Or otherwise, then we can quickly take a pause. Kapil.
I don't have any questions right now.
Okay.
Maybe I
So
will
the
think about this. I have some travel plans, so I
Mhm.
will figure out when can I join this basic course,
Okay.
and then uh, I will ping you separately.
Okay. Fair enough. So our upcoming batch is in the month of August for basic,
Okay.
and advanced will
Okay.
start somewhere in the middle of the August. I think so. So
Okay. Fine.
yeah. So think about it.
Yeah.
If you have any question, then you can approach us on the group, or you can
Sure.
reach out to either of these contacts. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So good to close
Okay.
this meeting. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. We can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.